3.1 Practice and Research. So, the beginning of Project 7. I have lots of ideas, have more direction since I've had my tutorial, and I'm going to focus my work now with looking at sensory textiles. I've been working with mixed media along the way. I have kind of been working with the same sort of media, the wool thread, working with colour palettes, red, that associate with dyslexia. And I've been drawing together and using materials like the acetate overlays continuously all the way through. I think project's going to be important now for me to start to refine and select and sort. But I think that this is a key point for me. The critical essay really helped identifying that my work is a creative language. I think that has also resonated with locating it as a practice stroke with mixed media in my textiles. But there has been a flow of the red, and I feel that there's kind of two sides to my work. There's a cheeky, playful side, and then there is a mature side, which I am now starting to see a red collection develop through various aspects of tones of red and so forth, which in Project 7 I'm going to start to look at the hues and the tones and shades of red. And start to engage with words and meaning and start to bring this into my textiles. I feel it's been important now to identify that I want my research to turn into a sensory sample, to engage an audience so that they can come along, they can touch, they can feel. But also as well, I think this is going to open up some new ideas. I'm still holding on to the idea that I want to use the body as a platform, start to investigate the movement of these textiles. How do you move them with various parts of the body? Start to think about the materials, start to think about the combination of the colour in the materials and what the materials actually do. And I'm also starting to think about the processes of my materials. Now, I think it's going to be important for me to start to dwindle down and discover and start to identify what I want to make with those materials. So, for example, the woolen thread, which has been one of my traditional mixed media materials, I started off French knitting that to use it as a red cord, and this enabled me a lot of flexibility. I could sew with it, I could knit with it. But then what I wanted to do with Project 7 was to open up the idea of scale. So the red cord now has become a knitted tube, which I'm going to be experimenting with. The French knitted cord has enabled me to start to introduce weaving. So you can actually weave with a thread that has been knitted for the French cord, and then start to use ideas of weaving that and introduce that into my sensory textiles. I want to start to look at the idea of colour, visuality, the samples being very visual, to open up audiences. So I'm kind of being pulled back to the essay, where it's now become a creative language, which is going to be part of my, well, it is part of my textile practice. And more so since my own dyslexia diagnosis. So I think Project 7 is going to set me up for Project 8, but I feel that I do want Project 7 to start to filter into Project 8 so that we can actually see the refining and the selecting and sorting of my samples. And that will be on colour, on materials, on how something is made. And I also am starting to think about scale of my samples. And I'm thinking larger scale, so that this will now start to develop ideas of playing with the body and using the body as a platform, applying the samples to various parts of the body, generating movement. Um, and it's all started to slowly come together with the Century Textiles of the ideas of them being visual, the colour, the processes of the materials and how they're made, and it's also starting to give me some indications of possible sound of the materials, and also as well going back and making references to previous research that I've already got, and I've been continuously using the idea of the acetate overlays to change the colour of my Century Textiles. So, on a whole, I think I'm now with all of this new learning. I think I've done plenty of research. I just now need to start to push the refinement a little bit more, um, and upscale and make some final pieces.